Hello, boyos. Uh, I wasn't gonna stream because my friend was texting me asking if I wanted to do something today, but he hasn't talked back. So here I am doing a stream for who knows how long. Doing another Redeye Raw live. These have been fun, and really they're the only kind of stream I can do here. Like I said, a lot of my streaming equipment is still at my mom's house, but I did find my Beavis and Butthead hat finally. So there you go. Gotta find where the hell I set the bowler cap though, because that's a staple in these, right? Hell indeed, yeet, hell indeed. Um, but just thought today a topic that might be fun. Haven't really done. How am I doing? I'm doing pretty good. I just got off work. Maybe let's see, what time is it now? I got off work about an hour ago, so been home a little bit longer than a little bit less than that, obviously. But I thought might be fun since I haven't really talked about this. But obviously, if you guys watch, some of you may know I live in Utah. Now I'm never gonna say what county or what city or anything like that for obvious reasons. But it's pretty much common knowledge if you watch me regularly that I live in Utah. And I thought maybe I'd talk about life in Utah. So Utah is a state that was founded predominantly on the Mormon religion. Technically, it's called the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, but most people know it colloquially as the Mormon religion. Though technically, that's not 100% true, or that's not 100% like what it's called, but it isn't. But that's what it's known as. Obviously, I grew up in that religion. I was very into it when I was younger, but around age 16, I left the church. I did a whole video dedicated to that, so that's not what I'm going to ramble about today. But because of that, you do see that the state does have a lot of traditionalist things in it, right? Like you do see, I mean, it is a red state, which, good, I wouldn't want to live in a blue state. But it's kind of more mixed than people would probably think. Because the younger generations, number one, aren't as into the church, which is fine. I'm not into the church anymore either. Though I can respect the way that people are in it. Finally got a stream. Hey, Shrimp, how you doing, man? Good to see you again. But you do see, because there is, and there's a lot of people who have moved here from California, you see some leftism kind of creep in. And the thing that is notorious about the Mormon church, they're super nice and don't like to have confrontation. And I think that does lead to some problems. Most of the rural parts of Utah are great. Like Duchesne, I love Duchesne. It's great out there. It's all desert and shit, but it's mostly conservative and there's nobody there. It's cool. I like it. It's a nice little area. But then you get to some of the more urban areas, right? Like Salt Lake. And Salt Lake's not the worst. But it is one of the few areas that has Democrat mayor and stuff like that. I think it's the only county that does. I'm not sure. Because I've looked into a bunch of them, and most of them don't. Most of them have Republican mayors. And I know that District 4 used to have a Democrat representative, but now it doesn't. It used to have a guy named Ben McAdams. Now it's a guy by the name of Burgess Owens. But anyway, so because of that, you do see a lot of difference in the way things are done. For instance, you do see little bits and pieces of wokeness kind of slip through the cracks, and a lot of people are too afraid to do anything about it, and I hate that. You do see a lot of normal people here in Utah, whether they be conservative or liberal. You do see anti-woke people, and I do like that. But every once in a while, you'll run into people who go off on woke spiels or commie propaganda. I've met a few communists personally, and I don't like them because they're communists. I mean, I can get along with them. I don't have anything against them as a person. I hate their ideology. And I don't particularly want to associate with them. But there's like some friends of friends I've met that are kind of commie. You wouldn't expect to see that in Utah, because a lot of people, when they think of Utah, they think of the church and they think of conservatism, traditionalist stuff, right? Which, again, it's there, and I'm glad it is, but you do see little bits creep in, and that does worry me. And another area that's kind of woke and pretentious is Park City. Park City is beautiful. It's out in the mountains, right? But in Park City, you do see a lot of people there who are woke, because a lot of like Hollywood types move out there. Because I think that's where they have Sundance when they have it here. I'm pretty sure that's out in Park City. And like there's a lot of Hollywood types that have like vacation homes in Park City. And that's fine, whatever. But they bring their ideas with them, and it clashes with some of the rest of the state. Again, I feel like most states are more divided than people think. But I'm not just here to talk about that, right? I'm also here to talk about just the state in general. So there are a couple of big cities, like I said, like Salt Lake. I think I guess you'd call Park City a big city. There's others, I'm sure. Ogden, probably. But there's also a lot of like suburban areas, rural areas. There's the Great Salt Lake, which is like way more salty than the ocean. Like the only thing that can live in it is brine shrimp. Like fish cannot survive in the Great Salt Lake. So it's just brine shrimp in it. And there used to be like an amusement park out there. But it's not there anymore. It hasn't been for fucking ever. I don't know. Centuries. Well, not centuries. Decades at least, though. Decades. I would say decades. Multiple decades, but still. Other than that, one of my favorite places to eat was, there used to be this fast food restaurant. They used to be all over the place in the state, called Scone Cutter. Hey, Andy, what's up? Yeah. Good to see you, man. But there used to be this restaurant called Scone Cutter, and it used to be everywhere. But then they started going out of business, to the point where they wouldn't be around. Like that, there'd be less and less, and then it got to the point where there was one left that was kind of out of the way, and I had to drive out to go to it. And then it closed down too. So now there's none of it. And that was my favorite fast food restaurant, because they give you a burger, but instead of a bun, it'd be on a fucking scone. And they have like Cajun fries. They called them spicy fries, but they were like Cajun fries. They're seasoned similar to like curly fries, right? Really good. I miss it, because I used to go there and I'd get a scone bacon burger. So it was a bacon cheeseburger on a scone instead of a bun. And then I'd order a side of au jus sauce, French dip sauce. And I'd eat it with that. And I can't do that anymore because Scone Cutter's gone. It's so disappointing, because I loved it there. It was delicious. They also had like this pineapple shake that was really good. And another, speaking of shakes, there also used to be this place called Icebreakers, I think. Was it Icebreakers? No, Iceberg. It was Iceberg. I think there might still be one or two of them left in like Sandy and Draper. But like a lot of them closed down too. It was a place where you'd go and get shakes, but they also served like crab sandwiches that were pretty good. But yeah, other than that, there's plenty of like good like national parks too in the state, right? Like in Moab, you got like this place called Goblin Valley that has all these like red stone. I got scones on the mind. Red stone like statues. They're not statues. They're naturally occurring. That we call goblins, and that's why it's called Goblin Valley. It's a really cool national park. I went there when I was a little kid, but I know that some fucking asshole teenagers tried to vandalize it, or did vandalize a few of them. Like they knocked over some of the goblins, and it sucked, because like those things are so cool. I think there's still a decent amount of them left, and then not too far from that, you get to Arches National Park, but I think that's technically in Colorado, but it's like they're really close to each other. That was pretty cool. Yellowstone, which apparently one of the places in Yellowstone is changing the name of one of the Yellowstones in Utah, right? I think it's part of it is, right? I'm pretty sure it is. I have to think about that. Because I know I've been to Yellowstone. I think I was a little kid. But like in Yellowstone, they're like changing the name of one of the one of the peaks because it was called like Doan Peak or something, and they're changing it because I guess the guy it was named after like killed a bunch of Indians. Um, I've never seen the point of changing places with historical names. Like I can understand it in some cases, but like I also think most people don't know who these fucking people are, so what does it even matter? You know what I mean? Like I've never understood that. Um, Another place that's really cool in Utah is Copperton, because there's a copper mine called Kennecott, and I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm not. I'm pretty sure I'm remembering correctly. It's like the biggest copper mine in the world. Don't worry, I'm not in the hotel room anymore. I'm home now. It was a quick vacation. Okay, well, there you go, Andy. But Copperton's pretty cool. Uh, the copper mine there has these trucks that are huge. They have tires that weigh like 8 tons. So like they're bigger than like they are huge. Those fucking trucks are gigantic. I remember years and years ago there was some guy who tried to steal one and go on a rampage. I don't know if he succeeded at all, but that was apparently a thing that happened. I don't remember how it turned out though, so apologies on it. But it's an interesting story. Um, but yeah, I've liked it here. I very rarely leave the state. Um, I have gone out of state a few times. I've never left the country. But I've been to let's see, I've been to Nebraska when I was like 3. I remember very little about it. I remember we went to a children's hospital in Nebraska. They had like this giant wooden train with like a bunch of stuffed animals on it. But I remember very little other than that. I've also been to Colorado, obviously. And I'll be going to Colorado again next week. So there you go. I've been to Wyoming. Yeah, I've been to Wyoming for scout camp. I've been to Vegas a couple of times. Once when I was a kid and I hated it, and then again last year and it was a lot better. Um, let's see. Worst fast food experience as a customer. Also mentioned you mentioned you had some crazy time in middle school in one of your vids. What was that like? Okay, in middle school. In middle school. Well, I think you're probably referring to the stuff right before middle school, um, which was in like fifth and sixth grade when I got put in that mental institution for like a year. I think that's probably what you're referring to. And in fourth and fifth grade, I acted up a lot. So I'll tell that story. I'm pretty sure I've told that story before, but I'll tell it again. So back when I was in like first through third grade, I was a total goody two shoes. I was like never wanted to break any rules, always doing what was right, always trying to, do good, getting straight A's. But then when I hit fourth grade, there was this hot chick in my class named Christina. I had a huge crush on her. And I realized I got a reaction from her, a positive one, when I acted out. She thought I was so fucking funny. So because of that, I started acting out a lot. And as I was acting out, I would get crazier and crazier with each way I would act out. For instance, I threw a chair at the principal one time. I ate a pencil, like legit, like chewed the whole thing up. I don't remember if I swallowed any of it, but my mouth got filled with graphite. It was so gross. I threw my shoes at people a lot. In fact, one time they took my shoes away because I did that. I used to not let the teacher talk. I would get on top of desks and run across the desks back and forth. I would get up and I would sharpen my pencils till they were about yay big. And then I would just throw them away and say, hey, I need another pencil. And then when I got another one, I'd do the same thing. To the point where they stopped letting me sharpen my pencil. And one time I asked, can I sharpen my pencil? And they said no. So I got down on the floor and I commando crawled up to the front of the classroom. And I sharpened it down again. And of course I got in trouble. Do you have a copy of Nightmare Campus or Demon Warrior Koji Anime? I have both. I can show them both off in a minute. Give me a second. Let me finish my story here and then I'll do that. So yeah, I was acting out. I would swear at the principal. I'd throw stuff at him. I would pick on this one kid. I think his name was Matt. I used to like poke him in the eye. I was a fucking nightmare. But then eventually, what was like the last straw is I chased this kid with a metal baseball bat down the hallway and tried to like hit him with it. at that point, they had to pull me out of school and do something. I was a nightmare, like I said. And I used to beat up on my brothers a lot, too, at the same time. So I was fucking awful to be around at that point. So they tried putting me on medication. They gave me Ritalin. And that kind of sort of worked, but not really. Because they said I had ADHD, which I don't really think exists, personally. Or if it does, it's greatly exaggerated. But then, like, after like I got kicked out of that school, they put me in this mental institution called the Residential Treatment Center. Now, what that was like I didn't actually live there, right? I wasn't a residential. I was on what they call day treatment. So I would go there from like 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. and they'd serve me dinner there, and I'd just be there all day. And I would take all my classes there. There would be things where they taught me manners, and if I got in trouble, they'd put me in something called seclusion, where they put you in this like cell that's like the size of a shower, and it just has like a drain in the floor, and they lock you in it. And there's like a little window so you can kind of see outside, but you're just supposed to sit in there and mind your business. I got put in there a lot because I would act out. There was one time like all the doors locked, like they would lock with like a key card thing, so you couldn't go from like one area to another. Like all the hallways had these doors with these locks. And like there was a lot of the doors in the hallways. You couldn't get into a hallway or another room or a stairwell without it. One time, I noticed one of the doors was just closing. I bolted for it, yanked it open, ran down the stairs, and then was trapped in the stairwell until they found me, and then they threw me in seclusion because I was trying to escape. It was a whole big thing. While I was there, they diagnosed me with ADHD, OCD, and something called oppositional defiant disorder, which I also don't think exists. It just means I don't like authority, and they tried to say that was a disability. They put me on like a cocktail of medications. They gave me like 6 different types of pills. That's how I found out I was allergic to this pill called clonidine. It made me get a rash over my entire body. It was god awful. And they made me go through therapy. It was a whole experience. It ruined my social skills. It absolutely stunted my social skills. Because then when I went to middle school, I didn't really like to deal with people. And I was super antisocial, and I still kind of am. And I definitely think sending me there was the wrong move. I think I just needed my ass kicked, to be perfectly honest. But let's see. In 6th grade, I went back to school. They put me in the special ed class because of like behavioral reasons. Because I acted out a lot before, so they had me in there, and it was super fucking insulting. Like I made a lot of good friends there. That's why that's why I never underestimate people with disabilities, because I've seen what they're capable of firsthand, because a lot of my closest friends in middle school were disabled. And that's why I think it's doing them no favors when you try to baby them and act like that they don't, that they can't handle things. Because I think that's just wrong. So that's why I am very harsh, even with people who have disabilities, because I know that they're capable of more because I've dealt with them. And I know that most people are babying them, and that's a crutch. But anyway, eventually I would transition back into what they call mainstream classes, normal ones, completely by high school. More and more so in middle school, but then completely in high school. In high school, I had virtually no friends. My first year of high school, which is 10th grade here, I had a few friends, but they all graduated the next year because they were all seniors. And then my second year of high school, I tried to hang out with some of my friends from middle school, but then they fucking ditched me for this fucking fat asshole named Brent, who didn't like me. And so they stopped talking to me, because I would go and hang out with them all the time, and then he started showing up, and he's like, why is this guy with the big orange backpack always coming over here? It's like, I was here, dude, fuck off. But like, he would like tell like a really lame, edgy joke, and so I would outdo him by telling a much edgier joke, and I guess that really annoyed him. And so like, he convinced all of my friends at that point to stop associating with me. So I went through this whole big spiral of like depression, and like, I would say 11th grade and then kind of 12th grade, although 12th grade I started to get over it and realize I didn't need people to be happy. And it made me a lot more independent in that regard. And all my friends I have now, I have not met in school. Like, I mean, granted, I met Danny in elementary school, and then we kind of unofficially adopted him. Because again, he's my brother. I don't consider him a friend anymore. He's my brother. So, but like all of my like friends, I only have a few, and that's all I fucking need. I've got my friend. I've got two friends. I met both of which at work in real life, and then online the only I have a few friends online too that I've met because of my YouTube channel, and then I've got like one friend that still hangs around from Xbox Live. So, and that's all I really need. Like, I get along with all my coworkers and my subordinates. I get along with people. But I had to rebuild my social skills. I'm a lot better now than I was in like middle school and early high school. Because again, I was stunted when they tell you, like, they restrict everything. It's not healthy. But yeah. Anyway, I hope that has been sufficient. Oh, yeah. The other question you had, right? The one about my worst fast food experience as a customer. Let me think. Oh, there's a Taco Bell not too far from here that for the longest time would not have any staff there. And so, like, every time I'd go, it would take, like, 30 fucking minutes to get, like, just, like, 2 tacos and a drink. And it got so bad to the point that they kept giving me the wrong order, and I had to keep going back and waiting another fucking 30 minutes for them to fix it. That's probably my worst fast food experience as a customer. This one's not fast food, but I did go to a gas station one time when this guy was really angry at the cashier because she wouldn't accept his fake ID to buy booze. And so, like, he started, like, threatening her and stuff, and, like, this other guy, like, tried to step in. And, like, the guy goes out and he starts punching his truck because he stepped in. Then the other guy pulls a fucking gun, which he should have, because this guy, in all honesty, I kind of wish he shot this guy. But there's this whole big thing, and then she called the cops. So luckily they dealt with it. But yeah, that was a whole big thing. But that's not fast food, but I figured that one was worth mentioning too. Anyway, I promised you guys Demon Warrior Koji and Nightmare Campus. Let's take a look in the hentai closet. Here we are. The den of iniquity. Still need to put shelves in this damn thing. It's all still in a box. Let's see. Hang on, boys. That's kite. Hang on. Please hold. Oh, my nose is so fucking itchy today for some reason. Okay. Let's see. Where the fuck is it? Ah, here we go. Here's Nightmare Campus. Dang, school really sucks. Good thing you only take it once, yeah? Alright. There's Nightmare Campus. I don't think I can show the actual disc because I think it has nudity on it. But yeah, there's the case. Let me pull out Demon Warrior Koji now. Here it is. Hang on, this is an awkward position to sit in to do this. There we go. There's Demon Warrior Koji. Alright. So that's that. Let me shove the hentai back where it belongs. Come on, there we go. There it is. Fucking dog's barking again. But yeah, with my middle school teacher, right? There was this one bitch. Her first name is Karen, too. We did this, like, end-of-year video project where she talked about how we needed her. And it's so pathetic. Like, I didn't need you, bitch. You did nothing but harm my social skills. But, yeah, no, she was so full of herself. Like, in her class, you could get in trouble for farting. An involuntary, for yawning even, too, until one of the teacher's aides proved her that yawning is completely involuntary. But she called it, when you farted, she called it an inappropriate bodily function. Which is the most authoritarian fucking thing I've ever heard. Yeah, no, she was a bitch. I called her a bitch a lot, too. She did not like that. And I would tell my mom about, like, the way that she would, like... Because she would retaliate. She would, like, put me in the corner and then, like, talk down to me and be really condescending. And again, this is a special ed teacher, so a lot of the kids that are in there for learning disabilities. I was in there because I was a nightmare and had a lot of behavioral problems. She talked down to me, and I would always tell my mom about it when I was a kid. And I remember there was one day where she said, now don't go home crying to mommy about this. And so I, of course, did, because fuck you, bitch. And when my mom confronted her about it, she tried to play it off like, oh, no, I never said that. You misunderstood. What a cunt. I hope she got cancer or something. That'd be nice. No, she was a bitch. And it's funny, too, because my mom really liked her and thought she was such a great teacher when she really wasn't. She was a fucking bitch. I feel bad for the autistic kids that were in that class, dude. They had no chance. But yeah, that was yeah, I had a fun school life. Like fun in the sense that I guess it's not as boring as I play it off as. Because I like to say, oh, I have a boring life. But whenever I tell people these stories, they do get interested. So I guess I'm not that boring. Let's see. What else? Oh, so there used to be this place called Hollywood Connection that we used to go to every year for my birthday. I've been over there and it doesn't exist anymore. They replaced it with a fucking call center. But they had like a roller coaster inside, right? This thing called the Dragon Roller Coaster. It was a bitch baby roller coaster. It was similar to the one in Lagoon called Puff the Magic Dragon, except it was inside. Like, none of the rides in there were particularly great. But it made me sad seeing it was gone when I went back over there the other day. Well, and by the other day, I mean like 2 or 3 years ago. But it's really sad because I used to go there every year for my birthday. We'd ride the roller coasters. They had an arcade upstairs. They had a skate rink there. Movie theater. It was such a cool little place, but it just doesn't exist anymore, and it's really sad to me. There's a lot of cool places that don't exist anymore, and it is sad. Like every restaurant that goes out of business gets replaced with a fucking Betos. Like, every single one that gets replaced is a Betos. And it's like, why would I go to a Betos when there's Rancheritos, which is way better? The worst thing I did in middle school was try to manipulate my then friend into breaking up with his girlfriend so I could take advantage of the situation. Not my best moment. Yeah? No, I've never done anything like that. I had a couple of girlfriends in middle school and high school, but I never did anything like they were stupid. Hello, stranger. How you doing? I'm doing all right. How you doing, Gaming Queen Classic? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're enjoying your Sunday evening or night or whatever time it is there. I guess it's technically night because it's like, oh shit, it's 9 o'clock. Damn. Like, granted, that's not late for me because you guys know I stay up until like 5 a.m. all the time. But I did not realize it was that late. I should have realized because I started the stream around 8:30, but you know. But Yeah, I saw Jacob again recently. He was here. He came over to hang out last night, so that was cool. Haven't seen him in a couple years. So yeah, if you guys have watched the channel for a long time, you may or may not know who Jacob is. He's been in a few videos. He used to be on live streams with us all the time. When we'd do like random like gaming streams, when we'd play like a bunch of emulators, or like when we'd watch bad anime or hentai or stuff like that, he would be in those Redeye Theater streams or even Redeye Theater videos. Um, and he was the cameraman in my Werewolves of the Third Reich video. But so it's good to see him again. I haven't seen him in a few years. Apparently, he fucked up his ankle. So there you go. But him and his girlfriend came over. That's why I haven't seen him in a couple years. But anyway, it was good to see him. It was fun. They came over and played Mario Party and Mario Kart, and then we had pizza. So that was pretty cool. Let's see. Do you have any other interesting stories or anything? Because those are always fun. Hmm. Hmm. I watched the first episode of MPD Psycho last night. That was a trip. Apparently, there's 6 episodes. I thought there was only like 2, but no, there's 6. The DVD case just straight up lies about the runtime because it says it's 116 minutes, which if you don't know is like less than 2 hours. But each episode is 56 minutes long, so almost an hour. So that's bullshit. It's got to be like 6 hours long, give or take. In case you were wondering, yes, they did get most of the original voice actors back for Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. I mean, I hadn't really thought about it, but that's pretty cool. Can you take screenshots of the concept art tour gallery, sketch gallery of Nightmare Campus, and the concept art tour art gallery sketch of Demon Warrior Koji? I might be able to do that. I'll probably have to edit them because hentai, but maybe. Have you seen the Dragon Ball Super Heroes movie leaks? No, I haven't. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. My interest in Dragon Ball is limited mostly to Original Z and GT. I like certain things in Super. To be fair, with the title, it's not exactly appealing to me because it's Dragon Ball Super Superhero, and superheroes are like one of my least favorite things. So we'll see. Although, isn't it about? It's about Gohan, right? Is it about the Great Saiyaman? I might actually like that now that I think about it. Because if that's what it's about, okay, I kind of want to check it out. If so, because I like the Great Saiyaman arc. I think it's underrated. So, but no, I haven't. I know that I've seen like screenshots like it has Gohan with like the white hair. So I guess Gohan Blanco is canon now. But no, I have not seen the leaks. Gohan and Piccolo are the lead characters. Okay, I mean that's cool. I think Dragon Ball should probably just end. Maybe I'll check it out. If I do, I'm gonna get it used, or like a bootleg or something, because I'm not gonna give money to Funimation. I mean, I would never buy a bootleg. Obviously, not me. But my friend, Bootman Bill, who totally exists, in fact, he's right over there, he might buy it. Yeah, I'm not going to give him money to Funimation, so I might see it, but not when it comes out. I'll probably either buy it used or find other ways to see it. I did really like the Broly movie, though. The Broly movie was really good, so maybe this one will be good, too. I think Super is kind of annoying to me in a lot of ways, because, like, the first 2 arcs were just remaking the last 2 movies, and then, like, the third arc was a tournament, and it was like, okay, fine, whatever, but, like, then they, like, over-focused on Kale and Khalifa, and then, like, after that, they did the Trunks arc, which was really cool, with, like, Goku Black and stuff. Did you meet Viveni Medrano? I have no idea who that is, so no. But, what was I saying? Oh yeah, then like after the, but then they ended the fucking Goku Black arc with the worst character in my opinion, Zeno, who just comes in and fucking insta kills him, and he's like a little kid, and it's fucking stupid. I don't like Zeno. It's a shit character. Um, and like there's two of them, so it's twice as bad. Um, but yeah, like out of like the new characters like in Super, the only one I like really liked was Beerus. And even then, technically, Battle of Gods was considered a Z movie. Um, I also think they're really milking the filling in the 10-year gap at the end of Z. I feel like they have to like retcon the ending at some point, right? Like they have to like because there's only so much they can throw in there because it's 10 years in the dub, isn't it? Only like 5 years in the original. The only voice actors who do not come back for Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl are either retired actors, dead voice actors, or voice actors with controversial circumstances. Okay. Unpopular opinion, but I think DBZ Broly is leagues above the DBS Broly. The new Broly just had a better backstory, but when he transformed, he literally had no personality. I don't know. I guess I would say that is a hot take because I really like Dragon Ball Super Broly. I love Dragon Ball Z Broly too. Don't get me wrong, except for Bio Broly, which was trash. But the first two Broly movies I liked a lot. But I did prefer the Super one. Did you see the new horror game, The Quarry? They got good cast. I have not played it, but Trevor was playing it here earlier, so I did see some of the gameplay. I kept commenting on how it felt like a Friday the 13th movie with the setup with like the summer camp and stuff, and then like there's that one chick that like kept like being like really obnoxious, and I'm like, I really hope she dies. And Trevor's like, well, that's probably going to be up to me. I'm like, okay, cool. I hope she dies. Although the male lead in that part was also kind of pathetic and weak and suffering from chronic bitch dependency. So you know, but I only saw like maybe 10 minutes of it because I had to go to work. I haven't played any of the games by that company, like Until Dawn or Man of Medan. I haven't played any of those. I like Telltale games, so maybe I'd like these. Trevor was telling me that he really enjoyed them. Speaking of old, did you see Callisto Protocol, basically Dead Space 4? Or speaking of, did you see... I have not seen Callisto Protocol. No, I'm not familiar with that. I don't follow a lot of new games. There's very few that I do. Like, obviously, like, when new Deltarune chapters are released, I get really excited for those. But obviously that's only happened, twice so far, Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. But since 3 through 5 are going to be a paid bundle, I'm really looking forward to that. Thoughts on Ash vs. Evil Dead? I have not seen the third season, so keep that in mind. But I loved the first two seasons. I thought they were great. Because I love Evil Dead. And this is kind of a hot take, but I think Army of Darkness is way better than Evil Dead 2. I'll use Nikado Avocado's body image to spice up Getter 1 and Getter Poseidon and Black Getter and Prototype Getter 1 Robot. Okay, you do that. Yeah, what was I talking about? The tables. Oh yeah, Ash vs. Evil Dead. Yeah, I thought Ash vs. Evil Dead was great. And like I said, I think Army of Darkness is better than Evil Dead 2. In fact, I prefer Evil Dead 1 over Evil Dead 2. Evil Dead 2 for me is the least of the trilogy. Like, it's still really good, but Evil Dead 1 I thought did the creep factor a lot better, and Evil Dead 2 did the like hammy, like cheesy, over the top action movie stuff way better. Because Army of Darkness is great. Like, it's got so many good one-liners. Shop smart, shop S-smart. Hail to the king, baby. That's called pillow talk, sweetheart. This is my boomstick. Like, Army of Darkness is easily the best Evil Dead movie, in my opinion. I love it. But I guess it does depend on what you're looking for in it. Yeah, I felt that Ash vs. Evil Dead was a pretty good follow-up to those. Though, as I said, I did not watch the final season. Not for any particular reason, I just didn't. Nikado Avocado is cringe, that's all I'll say. I'm pretty sure he's playing a character. I saw somebody do a video on it. I'm pretty sure he's like Copper Cab, where he's not actually like he's portraying a character. Like, he still actually eats all that shit. But he hams it up for the camera. That's my understanding, anyway. But I haven't watched him, nor do I think I will. Mukbang kind of grosses me out. Favorite horror movies franchise? I personally got to say Friday the 13th. Well, it depends on how you define horror. My personal like if you count Psycho as horror, which most people do, I would say the Psycho series. If you're talking like slasher, I'd say Nightmare on Elm Street. If you're talking like atmospheric, creepy horror, there's not a lot of series that do it really well, but there's a few like one-off movies that do, like The Thing. Like, granted, The Thing is technically part of the franchise, I guess, because there's 3 movies. There's The Thing from Another World, which is a fun like 50s B movie in and of itself. But then there's the one from the 80s, John Carpenter's The Thing, which I think is probably objectively the best horror movie ever made. And then, of course, there's a 2011 prequel to that, which is okay. Like, it's fine. But I would say The Thing is my favorite, like, atmospheric horror movie. But, like, if we're talking, like, franchises, there's a lot of good ones out there. Like, and if you're talking, like, just really fucked up, gory stuff, there's, I mean, singular movie, Cannibal Holocaust. And Cannibal Holocaust has a great message, too. I love that movie. I love the Saw franchise, too. I think that's pretty good. I always viewed it more as a crime drama than a horror series, but it is a horror series, so, you know. Check out the Bruce Campbell DVD commentary for The Evil Dead. It's informative and hilarious. Okay. Yeah, I don't watch a ton of commentaries, but I probably will at some point. Like, the only commentaries I've really watched are all the South Park commentaries that Trey Parker and Matt Stone did. Biopunk movie, Genocyber, Tekkaman Blade, Twin Blood. Out of all of those, I have Genocyber. I love Genocyber, by the way. Genocyber is one of the quintessential OVAs I feel like you need to watch. Because, like, if you want to get into old school OVAs, Genocyber is, like, one of the musts. Like, there's Genocyber, there's Devilman. If you want to throw hentai in there, Yorotsuki Doji, at least Yorotsuki Doji 1. Angel Cop, which I still need to watch. There's a lot of really good, like, old school... Because old school OVAs are my favorite type of anime. I've mentioned that before. Genocyber is a good one. Has a good soundtrack, too. Let's see. You know, I like that, like, a lot of my anime DVDs I have, like, especially the old OVAs, they just go up in value. Like Yorotsuki Doji, The Perfect Collection, goes for a lot more than what I paid for it. Like, I paid, like, 30 or 40 bucks for it. Now it goes for well over 100, sometimes 200. I've seen it go as high as 500 before for, like, a new, like, sealed one. But you typically see it around the 1 to 200 mark, usually, like, 150 to 200. But I bought it for, like, 30 bucks. And then, like, Mad Bull 34, I got for, like, 17 bucks, and it costs, like, 100 now. I've seen the rest of Angel Cup. I've seen the rest of Angel Cup. It's really good and a good twist. Okay, yeah, I'll definitely have to check it out. Like I said, I've been wanting to watch Angel Cup. I just haven't yet. I own it. I just haven't got around to watching it. Oh yeah, Biohunter is another good one. I really like Biohunter. Although I own like a censored version on a VCD, and I want to get the real one at some point because like it's weirdly censored because like they tried to cut out the scenes with nudity. But, like, there's a couple of frames where you can see tits. So it's a little confusing to me. Like well, granted, I think it's a bootleg, because it's, like, it's a Chinese VCD with the English dub, but Chinese subtitles. Did I hear somebody here? That's creepy. I'm the only one in the house. Let's find out. Either way, I'm going to have to tell the dog to shut the hell up. Need some more horror, gore, dubbed animes to watch? I have plenty of suggestions. Hang on a sec. Kiki, shut up! Kiki! Knock it off! Want to come in? Come on in. Fucking dogs, dude. These two. Especially this one. Every morning at like 7 a.m. her bitch ass wakes me up. Wicked City, that class is horror in the anime version? Maybe. I like Wicked City. I had fun with it. I'll trap you guys upstairs for now, because I'm doing stuff. But be good. Yeah, every morning she wakes me up with barking at the neighbor. It's really fucking annoying. A lot of complete series DVDs, at least in my area, sell for nearly $100 or more. That's why it's a might thing whenever I say I'm going to buy one. I really need to keep my mouth shut on that, yeah? I guess it depends on how long the series is, if it's worth it for me. Or if it's a series I really like. Like I bought Bow for like $100, so that's only one episode. So there you go. Wanted to let you know the Violence Jack Blu-ray is fully remastered and uncut. Is it out yet? Because I'm gonna buy that. Because I got the Discotheque DVD. I've also got a bootleg. But I absolutely will be getting it on Blu-ray. All right. Got a lot of booze down here since Jacob and a couple other people were hanging out. I got Wicked City over Demon City. I have not seen Demon City Shinjuku. I've seen the first episode of Beast City, also known as Vampire Madonna, and it was okay. Like, I mean, well, I liked it. It was good, but I definitely don't think it wasn't Yorotsuki Doji by any means, but it was still pretty good. I need to watch episode 2, and apparently there's a third episode that's not on the DVDs, so I'll probably have to find that one too. And yes, I do hate the $100 bill very much. Why? Why do you hate $100 bills? What a strange thing to hate. Scariest nostalgic internet video. You know, there was this video I saw back in the day of what's it called? There's this guy in Mexico at a graveyard, and he sees like this little girl, and that scared the hell out of me back in the day. There's the Argentina gnome. That's a classic. Let's see. I remember creepypastas used to scare me before I knew that they were made up. Carmen Winstead? Carmen Winstead. Hey, D. Keats, how you doing? Who's Carmen Winstead? Oh, Carmen Winstead! That's a video, right? Like one of those classic, like, scary videos, right? If that's funny, okay, I don't know. You know, one that I remember we used to think was kind of creepy back in the day? There was a video that was called Sunny Scary Girl or whatever, and it just had this, like, painting of a girl, and it played the Exorcist theme, and supposedly the image would change if you stared at it long enough. Some of the videos actually had the image change, but that's just because that's the videos doing it. Other ones didn't. There's a lot of old jump scares I used to see back in the day. There was an old website. I don't know if it still exists, and I don't know how safe it is, so I wouldn't recommend. But there was an old website back in the day called scaryforkids.com, and you'd go on there, and there was a bunch of stuff you could use to scare the hell out of people. Like, there was this game, and you may have seen this, because there used to be YouTube videos on this back in the day. It was a classic, called the Scary Maze Game. It's like a maze game, but when you get to, like, the third level, as soon as you complete it, it has a screamer that comes up. And there also was one called, like, Subliminal Images, and it showed, like, a bunch of, like, pictures, but then, like, it just had a screamer at the end. There's another one that had like a fake Google search bar. That when you searched in it, eventually it would just come up and say, "You're going to die. You're going to die. You're going to die," and then it would have a screamer. Total classic. Oh yeah, no, dude, that shit was classic. It's sad. Like a lot of the old like cryptid and conspiracy videos you used to see got taken down. I think because of copyright, because they all contain that song. Club to Death, you know that one from The Matrix that goes dun 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 dun. That one, right? There's so many videos that were classic back in the day that had that song, and it sucks to me that it's gone because I loved those videos. Like they're stupid as hell looking back, but I love them. Old school like creepy YouTube was a very different time. I sometimes have wasted money in the past, but it's the $100 bill I never waste because it's so fucking expensive and rare to get a hold of, at least for me. I mean, it's not if you have a job. But okay, it's a strange reason to hate a currency, but here's the thing: if you spend a $100 bill, you're gonna get change back, so it's not like you're wasting the whole thing. You know, but like I miss like when creepypastas used to actually be like, so there was a phase of like bad creepypastas that are fun to look back on, you know, like Squidward Suicide, Happy Appy, that kind of thing. But then there was like a surgence of good ones like No End House, Candle Cove, Whimsywood. There was a lot of good ones back in the day. The Russian Sleep Experiment, that was a classic. What was that other one called? Gateway of the Mind. That one was really good too. But then like nowadays, I can't take creepypastas seriously anymore. Like they're not fun to me anymore. And because like most of the time they're like really long stories that are like 10 parts that are each like an hour long or some shit. I spent more than $100 on anime figures recently, so I have no problem with wasting money. You know, I don't have very many anime figures. I'm not a big, like, merchandise guy. I just like to own like, you know, the Blu-rays and stuff. Jason X, in concept, good design, awesome, great. Yeah? I like Jason X. Jason X is fun. It's a stupid movie, and it's very poorly written, but I think it knows it is. It's fun, it's cheesy, and it's over the top. I love Jason X. It's fucking stupid, and I love it. I think that cheesy horror movies can be really fun. Leprechaun 4 in space, however, was nowhere near as good. And so if you guys remember, I did a stream when I was watching Leprechaun 4 and I got fucking drunk. Like, yeah, it's probably the drunkest I've been, was during the Leprechaun 4 stream. Like, the sand stream, I got pretty drunk, and I threw up. But that's because I was, like, shotgunning beers, just chugging them down. And beers are nasty. I don't like beer. I'm much more of a hard liquor kind of guy, right? Like whiskey. Rum's not too bad either. Rum's okay. But I've always found creepypastas just funny, never scary, even when I was in 5th grade and my friends were obsessed with them. There's a few like really good ones. Like No End House, I think is fantastic. It's my favorite. It's the go-to one. Happy Appy is one of my favorites, but yeah, it's bad, and it knows it's bad. And that's what I love about it. But like creepypastas now, they're like 10 fucking videos long. Like all of them are, and a lot of them have like 30 fucking spin-offs. There's like Tales from the Gas Station and like Lily Madwhip, I think are like in the same universe. I haven't listened to any of them, but I have a friend that like insists that they're really good. I didn't care for like how long they are, so I just don't like. Don't get me wrong. I like longer creepypastas sometimes. Like Godzilla NES is a classic. Like Godzilla NES is cliched, and in the third act it gets really stupid, but in the beginning it's actually pretty good. And like I find it very interesting, and I think it like the fact that there's like fan games and stuff made of it, I think is great. But like, when it says that, like, the game, like, has the soul of his girlfriend and that, like, it made her kill herself, that's when it gets kind of stupid. Creepypasta anime would be very interesting. Yeah, I'd probably watch that. Channel Zero, at least the first season was good. I started watching the No End House season, And although it went in a completely different direction, I was enjoying what I watched, but I never finished it. I watched like half of it. And what are your thoughts on Gravity Falls? OK KO, Let's Be Heroes, and The Amazing World of Gumball? So I haven't seen OK KO, Let's Be Heroes, so I don't really have an opinion on that. Gravity Falls I thought was pretty decent. I enjoyed the concept, and the episodes I've watched I really liked, but I never got like super into it. And The Amazing World of Gumball is some episodes are fucking great, other ones are really bad, and then there's a lot of in between. Like my favorite character in The Amazing World of Gumball is Richard, the dad. Everything with him is great. But like sometimes the show I feel like it's just kind of okay, and then other times I feel like it can actually be straight up bad. It just depends on the episode. But I'm not like crazy about Gumball. It has a lot of funny jokes. Out of context stuff from Gumball can be pretty great. But I never really got into it. Like I thought it was pretty good. Like the last truly great Cartoon Network show I really liked was Regular Show. Regular Show was great. Although the Close Enough, which is made by the same guy but for adults, honestly not that good. Like it was okay. Regular Show is so much better though. And I also never really got the hype for Adventure Time. Like, there's a few things I liked, there's a few episodes I liked, but I always thought it was kind of overrated. Thoughts on motion capture films like The Polar Express and Jim Carrey's A Christmas Carol? You know, I've seen both of those movies, and they're decent, but I never really got into them, and I don't remember a lot of what happens in them. I mean, I basically do because they're both like based off books, like you know, obviously with Christmas Carol being an all-time classic, and I'm pretty sure Polar Express was a classic children's Christmas book back in the day too. So, why does everyone ask about Gravity Falls? Probably because it's a popular show, dude. I get it. Like I said, I enjoyed it. I liked all the references to the Weekly World News because I love the Weekly World News, and I'm glad they came back. Cartoon Network post Steven Universe is trash, but pre-Amazing World of Gumball is good. I agree, Regular Show is the last GOAT. Adventure Time was supposed to be up there, but it didn't live up. Yeah, I agree. Like for me, the best Cartoon Network shows were like a lot of the, like, let's see, my favorite Cartoon Network shows. There's Samurai Jack's great. You got Megas XLR, Ed, Edd n Eddy, Johnny Bravo. The original Teen Titans was pretty good. Let's see. Megas XLR. I love that show. Courage the Cowardly Dog, Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Those are like the kind of Cartoon Network shows I like. I watched Adventure Time growing up but never finished it. I lost interest when it got all serious and boring. Chowder is one of, if not my favorite Cartoon Network shows. Oh, I love Chowder, dude. Chowder's great. Yeah, Chowder's great. The Amazing World of Flapjack, or not Amazing World of Flapjack. I just mixed two things. The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack is great too. I love that show. Like Flapjack's dark and like insane, and I love it because like it's fucking weird. It's one of the weirdest fucking shows they had, but I love it. But yeah, like I never got into a lot of the modern Cartoon Network stuff people like Steven Universe. Never cared for that. Like it looked bad to me from what I've seen, and like to me it just seems like it's a bunch of bullshit. Like it's like a super woke show too, so it's like it's not gonna appeal to me. Don't forget Kids Next Door and Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Yeah, you're right. Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends is really good. I love Foster's Home. In fact, Frankie was one of my first cartoon crushes when I was a kid. Kids Next Door is fine. I liked it a lot more when I was younger, but I definitely feel like it is kind of repetitive. I think that for me, the episodes with Father tend to be the best. I love Father as a character. He's really cool. And like for me, Kids Next Door, the villains are what stands out. You know, like the Toylinator and Sticky Beard. And that's not to say that I don't like the main cast. It's just, I feel like as you get older, the whole fuck adults, kid power kind of wears off on you. You know what I mean? Like it's a fun show. I still enjoy it. It's just I wouldn't put it up there with some of the greats. Like it's fine. Oh yeah, the Powerpuff Girls is really good too. And it's like surprisingly gory too. Like there's like a monster that they like tear off its horn and stab it through its eye. And like Fuzzy Lumpkins gets his teeth knocked out all the time. Like it's really violent. I've only watched a few episodes of Adventure Time. Yeah, I mean, I have too. Like I've probably seen a decent amount, but I've never like watched any like big story arc. Like I like Ice King, and I liked the Simon stuff with him. Those were okay, but I don't know. I think that it's not as great as people make it out to be. Um, let's see. You guys know that Seth MacFarlane tried to make a show for Cartoon Network? It was he did two pilots. There was Life of Larry and Larry and Steve, and they're both like prototype versions of Family Guy. Who remembers the Cartoon Network Dark Age, Destroy, Build, Destroy? But I really like Johnny Test growing up. Gets a lot of hate. So Johnny Test, I don't think is the worst thing in the world. I don't think it's good per se, but I did enjoy it when I was younger. As far as Destroy, Build, Destroy, and basically anything else on CN Real, I thought that was kind of dumb. Like, it's Cartoon Network, and they're making fucking dumbass game shows and, like, stuff like that. I think the reason they did that is because, like, there was that one time where they had that show, I love Destroy, Build, Destroy, Andrew WK Party's Heart. To be fair, I never watched it. I just thought it looked dumb. And I thought the concept was kind of stupid. You destroy something, you rebuild it into something else, and then you destroy it again. Like, it just seems pointless to me. Oh yes, Dark Age of live action Cartoon Network shows like 2009, yeah. But I never did watch it, so I'm gonna be fair there. I guess I didn't watch it, so I don't know if it's truly that bad. I just never got into it. Because here's the thing, like, a lot of people would maybe make the same complaint about MTV and say, oh, but it's not music videos anymore. But it's like, yeah, but the music video age of MTV kind of sucked dick. Like, for me, the best eras of MTV are like Beavis and Butthead and Jackass. I mean, those are shows, not eras, but the eras they were in, right? My most favorite is Ben 10, Teen Titans 2003, Megas XLR's OKKO, Let's Be Heroes, Infinity Train, Secret Saturdays, Generator Rex, Thundercats, Transformers, The Boondocks. Well, The Boondocks is Adult Swim. You can't just throw that in with Cartoon Network. The Boondocks is great. It's one of the best Adult Swim shows. Like, it's no Moral Oral, but it's probably second for me. I really do like The Boondocks. Level Up or whatever was garbage, but dude, what happened is hilariously dumb. Yeah. Here's the thing. I don't mind like live action kids shows. Like, I loved the original seasons of all that, and even the first reboot in like the 2000s. And I liked the Amanda Show and Drake and Josh, obviously. Although I think Keenan and Kel is better personally. I love Keenan and Kel, and I love the Keenan and Kel movie. Two Heads Are Better Than None. Although the best Nickelodeon show of all time, Invader Zim. It's gotta be. Like, everyone says, oh, well, what about Avatar? I mean, they're very different shows. I like Avatar and all, but I'm not, like, in love with it. Like, I do really like it. I never finished it either, to be fair. I watched up to Day of Black Sun, and then I saw a few random episodes here and there. But I've always preferred Invader Zim. Not gonna lie, Cartoon Network doesn't have a SpongeBob, but overall I think Cartoon Network has a better lineup of cartoons over Nickelodeon. That's tough, because Nickelodeon also had, Invader Zim, it has SpongeBob, obviously. Rugrats. I don't get, like, the modern age, like, new hate Rugrats skits. It makes no sense to me. And everyone, like, ever since PewDiePie briefly mentioned that he hated Rugrats, everyone else acts like it's cool to hate on Rugrats now. And, like, I remember I've argued with Corbin about it multiple times, because he said, like, he didn't find the babies cute, and I'm like, that's a thing? People think they're cute? They're fucking monstrosities. What are you talking about? But, like, the best episodes of Rugrats, like, Rugrats is super funny. Like, people don't give the clever writing enough credit. Because, like, my favorite episode of Rugrats of all time is called, Real or Robots, where Tommy and Chucky think that Stu is a robot. So they keep breaking into his room to try and open his chest by twisting his nipples. But also Stu is like, he sleepwalks in that episode. But while he's sleepwalking, he thinks he's on a cooking show, and it's some of the funniest shit I've seen. But then, like, Dee Dee comes in and wakes him up, and she's like, Stu, are you okay? And he's like, oh, I'm fine, Ramona. And she's like, Ramona? Who's Ramona? Like, really angry. And he's like, oh, my assistant. And that relieves her. She's like, oh, Stu, you're sleepwalking again. Like, there's a lot of little clever things in Rugrats that get overlooked because people just think of the baby jokes or Angelica. But Rugrats is way more clever than people give it credit for. And yes, John Cristofalucci does not reprise his role in Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl because the company does not want anything to do with that man anymore. Yeah, I figured. Look, I'm not going to say one thing or the other about whether or not he did the things that people say about him because there's evidence to show that he might have. But because that's not my place, I don't like to jump in on that. I think the guy was very talented, and he's very charming. Ren and Stimpy is another classic. So I'll say that. I love Ren and Stimpy. I also love the Adult Party cartoon. That gets a lot of hate. I don't love every episode of it, but my favorite Ren and Stimpy episode overall is Ren Seeks Help. Rugrats is great. People just bandwagon. All Grown Up was questionable but interesting. I like All Grown Up. I think it's fine. It's not as good as the original, but it's fine. I also don't get why people don't like Angelica. I think she's a great character because she acts like a 3-year-old would. She's super obnoxious and bratty and full of herself. That's how a 3-year-old acts. Especially when she's spoiled by her rich parents. So, like, Angelica's my favorite of the kid characters. My favorite adult characters are Stu, Lou, and Drew. I love their stuff. You know, another thing that gets overlooked. Did you guys realize that time travel canonically exists in the Rugrats universe? Like, it's ridiculous. When they're at Toy Palace, there's something called the Wee Willy Warp Time Station. It's a real working time machine for kids. And the episode literally ends with them sending Thorg, the robot gorilla, back in time to Washington, crossing the Delaware. I think it's so funny. And also, like, in that same episode, they have, like, a toy alligator that has a real cold fusion reactor in it. So, like, there's shit like that gets overlooked because people focus too much on the baby jokes when it's like, you realize there's a lot more to the show than that, right? Like, it's really clever. At least most people agree, even if they don't like Rugrats, they do like the first movie. The Rugrats movie is great. Rugrats in Paris is great, too. And Rugrats Go Wild, it's still pretty great, but I don't think it's as good as the first two. What are your thoughts on NFTs? I mean, I think they're kind of stupid, personally. I'm not a big guy on intellectual property anyway. So the concept of, like, buying the, like, original, like, file of an image and owning it just seems kind of retarded to me. I think it's mostly a scam. But, I mean, if people want to buy it, they can buy it. Now my head's itchy because I don't wear hats enough anymore. Yeah, I think that, I think I would agree, though, that Cartoon Network does have a better lineup, but it's close. Because I grew up more with Cartoon Network than Nickelodeon, too. But I do think Nickelodeon still had a pretty strong lineup. Like, because you had Rocko's Modern Life, you had Ren and Stimpy, SpongeBob, Invader Zim, Avatar. Like, again, I do think Avatar gets overhyped, but, I mean, I still enjoyed it. Let's see, there's Keenan and Kel, Drake and Josh, all that, The Amanda Show. Angry Beavers was okay. I enjoyed it to an extent, but I'm not, like, in love with it. Then there's a bunch of, like, Nickelodeon shows like that were just kind of there, like Our Real Monsters I never got super into. And The Wild Thornberrys, I love Nigel, and I love some of the jokes in it, but it's not, like, the greatest. Nicktoons is how I originally watched Dragon Ball Z Kai, yeah. And yes, $20 is my favorite dollar bill, common as dirt and extremely addictive. $20 is addictive to you? What? I do think $20, like a $20 bill, is the most convenient currency if you're spending cash. But I wouldn't call it addictive. That sounds a bit strange, but okay. Now, you know what TV network I miss is Spike TV. I love Spike TV. Like, it was like, we're a network for men, and we don't give a shit about anyone else. Because that's how it was, right? Like, it had Mansers, where it was just like how to tell if it's a hooker or a cop. How teeny is too teeny for an itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini, or whatever, or what? That's probably not the line. It was probably something like, what is the teeniest an itsy bitsy teeny weeny bikini can be legally, or something like that. Then there was obviously Spike is where MXC was, so obviously that was a big one. That was my favorite show on Spike. 1,000 Ways to Die. What else did Spike have? Spike had a lot of good shit. Avatar was really boring, but one underrated thing about Nick was Teen Nick. I never hear anyone talk about how they had Iron Man, Fantastic Four, and X-Men cartoons. Yeah. $20 is addictive? Who are you, Slender Man? I don't know if I get that joke. Oh yeah, I remember 1,000 Ways to Die. Great show. Wish it would come back. Yeah, no, 1,000 Ways to Die was great. Although I say this a lot, I don't want it to come back precisely because it was great. Things I like, I don't like coming back anymore because they're just going to get ruined, and I'm very cynical about it. Your Tales from the Drive-Thru on Rimmer was probably your funniest drive-thru video. Yeah, I need to do more of those. I have plenty of Tales, like, I haven't done a Tales from the Drive-Thru in forever, have I? $100 bill is my least favorite and most hated dollar bill. I already said that way earlier. Yeah, you're again, that's a strange take, Andy, but okay. I don't really have an opinion on what denomination of currency I'm using. I don't really care. Money is money. In the original Slender game, there was a mode where he gets close and says, "Give me $20." Really? That's pretty good. There was a version of Slender the 8 Pages that used to play a rap song with lyrics, "Give me $20." It was the only mode that combined day mode and this feature. Okay, yeah, there you go. Let's see. You know, Slender was terrible for the survivor horror genre. So was Five Nights at Freddy's. Because nowadays, every survival horror game is either a Slender clone, or a Five Nights at Freddy's clone, or some weird combination of the two. And I hate that. Because survival horror used to be shit like Silent Hill, Resident Evil, stuff like that. Now you just get, like, again, bunch of, like, Slender clones, like Emily Wants to Play, and, which I think is also kind of like a Five Nights at Freddy's type clone, too, because you have to get through, like, a certain amount of time and stuff like that. Like, again, they come, like, every survival horror game is either ripping off Slender, or ripping off FNAF, or ripping off both. And I don't get it. Because I never found either of those games... That's not true when I say never. I never found Five Nights at Freddy's scary. But when Slender first came out, I did get suckered in a little bit. But it wore off pretty quickly. There's way more FNAF clones. The whole turn a kitty thing into a scary thing is hip with the kiddos these days. That's true. And another thing is, like, I already did a whole Redeye Raw on this, but I feel like people are fucking pussies when they talk about stuff that scared them as a kid. Because it's like, there's plenty of things I saw that did not scare me as a kid. Like, Courage never scared me. I loved Courage. It was one of the best shows on Cartoon Network. But people act like it terrified them and it traumatized them. And it's like, I mean, yeah, I could understand getting, like, a quick little scare from, like, You're Not Perfect or something. But, like, I think people overhype the Uncanny Valley so much to act like it's terrifying. Like, I remember when I'm showing someone, like, I remember I showed Jacob Angela Anaconda, and he said, that's terrifying. I don't like the way that looks. I'm like, really? Like, I think people get way too freaked out by the Uncanny Valley thing. Like, yeah, it looks weird, but it's not going to freak me out. You know what I mean? So I just heard the dog moving upstairs. Um, what the dog doing though? But yeah, I don't know. Like, I was never a fan of horror or anything related, so I didn't watch it. I didn't find Slender scary though, even when I was a kid. I love horror. Horror is one of my favorite genres, but I don't think it gets done very well a lot anymore. Um, which, granted, I think that's true with any genre now. Um, like superhero movies can fuck off. I am so tired of superhero movies. And like every stream I do, I'll get you guys in the chat asking, "Hey, have you seen that new Marvel movie? Are you gonna see that?" Like, no, I'm not. I don't care. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is better than the DCEU. Yeah, I'll give you that. But I don't care. They're both boring as fuck. It's like the same 6 movies rinsed and repeated over and over again. Like, there's a few standout ones that I really like Watchmen and Logan. Deadpool was pretty good. Joker, although he's a villain, but whatever. But like, the superhero genre can go to hell. I am so tired of it. It is so fucking oversaturated. And that's not to say that I don't like oversaturated genres, because I'm a slasher fan. I love slasher movies. And slasher movies all follow essentially the same formula. But at least I know what I'm getting into with those, and I enjoy it. Like, I don't know, I just think that the ultra-violence and stuff, and, obviously I also love, like Toxic Avenger and those kind of superhero movies. I love Toxic Avenger. It's a great movie. Toxic Avenger 1 and 4 are both fantastic. We'll see how the remake turns out. I love one-man army action films like Rambo and such. Yeah, I haven't seen Rambo 2 and 3 yet. I have seen, or Last Blood. I've seen First Blood, and I've seen Rambo 4. It has to be said, people don't want to give Capcom credit, but Resident Evil is the best horror game franchise. Plus, I think the best horror game. I think Silent Hill is overrated and was only good in the PS2 era. Well, I've only played Silent Hill 2, and I thought it was pretty good. And I've only played Resident Evil 1 and 4, so I didn't play a ton of them, but I like the atmosphere in those games. The ones that I have played and the ones that I've seen. Though the controls in the PS1 era were not good. Yeah, what was I talking about? Let's see. But yeah, Rambo, right? Like, out of the Rambo movies, I think Rambo is at its best when it's like really dark. Like specifically like Rambo 1, right? Which isn't even called Rambo, it's called First Blood. First Blood is an amazing movie. Like, to the point that I haven't wanted to watch Rambo 2 and 3 because those are just war movies. Rambo 1 is a guy with PTSD taking on an entire town. And I think that's such a cool concept. I've only played the Resident Evil 2 remake and I didn't love it. Found the gameplay kind of boring. You should play Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 is the best one. They're remaking it, and I don't care, because, like, I'm so tired of remakes, too. I agree, I lost interest in superhero movies after they finished The Avengers. I lost interest before that, I think. Like, when did I actually lose interest? I think I lost interest around the time Age of Ultron came out. I still saw Infinity War, and I still liked Infinity War. I still think Infinity War is actually a pretty good movie. Mainly because of the ending. But I didn't bother seeing Endgame because I didn't care. I never saw, like, all those other ones that nobody's heard of, until they came out as movies, like Ant-Man and fucking Captain Marvel or any of that other bullshit. But I did like, I love the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, and no one can convince me otherwise that he's the best Spider-Man, because he's the best Spider-Man. I love those movies. And I will say, like, he's the best Peter Parker at the very least. But those are the best Spider-Man movies. Because they're fun, they're unique, and he actually gains a fucking power besides... Like, I mean, granted, Spider-Man has, like, super strength and, like, can climb on walls. But I do agree, when Stan Lee saw the original Spider-Man movie, he's like, why didn't I think of that, with the webs just being part of the powers? Like, it's so much more believable that he'd get the power than, a fucking high school student just coming up with web shooters like that. Tobey is the best Spider-Man. I always loved all three. Yeah, like, I think 3 has a lot of flaws, and it's objectively the worst of the 3, but it's also the most fun. I love 3 because it's so stupid. Like, all the Bully Maguire stuff, like, I'm glad that's a meme now, because I loved that shit in Spider-Man 3. I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye. Gonna go check on the dogs real quick. Give me 2 seconds. Tobey's easily the best Spider-Man. It reminds me of the 90s cartoon, which was the best. 3 is the most entertaining, but the worst one. Yeah, exactly. Be right back. You're being good. Good. All right, sorry about that, but I just heard a lot of movement upstairs, so I want to make sure they weren't getting into anything they weren't supposed to. Another replacement is Jim Meskin doing the Nigel Thornberry voice as Tim, due to Tim Curry's stroke. Yeah, that's fair. That sucks, though, because, Nigel Thornberry with Tim Curry is iconic, you know? Blah! Tim Curry's one of my all-time favorite actors. Let's see. See, the thing I hate, because I prefer to wear my hats backwards, right? But then you don't see this as a Beavis and Butthead hat from the front. Don't know about you, but I'm sick of the PS1 styled horror game trend. I mean, I'm not particularly sick of it, because I haven't really played a lot of them, but I do agree it is getting a bit out of hand. But yeah, that's fair. I do think that it is kind of getting overplayed. You know, I also got sick of zombie movies for a while back when there was like a huge surge of those because like The Walking Dead made zombies like super popular. And so like a ton of like zombie movies and shows and stuff came out and I lost interest for a while. You know what my favorite zombie movie is? 28 Days Later. And nothing else even comes close. I love 28 Days Later. It's such a good zombie movie. The sequel's pretty good too. It's nowhere near as good as the first one. But I still enjoy it quite a bit. But I still need to watch, like, the original George Romero's Dead series, you know, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead. I said that out of order, but you know what I mean. Because I think it's Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead. Speaking of trends, they gotta stop with those open-world games. Yeah, not every game needs to be open-world. Like, I haven't played any of Halo Infinite's story mode. I also just think that they should just let franchises die. Don't get me wrong, I love a good sequel, and I love a good long-running franchise, and there's even a few reboots and remakes I like. But when that's all there fucking is, you gotta chill out. And like, when a series has no reason to exist anymore because what made it great is no longer there for whatever reason, whether it be a new writing staff that doesn't have the same vision, or whether it be that it's just not... It's outstayed its welcome and there's been enough, or like a main character has died or has already finished their arc. Sometimes you just need to let a story die. That said, some series need to like do better with coming back. Like, in all honesty, Doom Eternal is my favorite Doom game, but it was clearly made by people who knew the series, who were fans. It was a love letter to Doom. And that's what makes it so great. The fuck's my backpack doing out here now that I think about it? My backpack's out here on the couch. I didn't bring this out here. Did I? This was in my closet. What the hell? Gears of War 5 tried being half-assed, open world, and it just felt tedious and tacked on. Yeah, I would imagine. I didn't even really like Gears of War 4. Like, it was like nothing but fighting fucking robots. And none of the characters really had soul put into them. I'm gonna put my backpack away. Hold on. I must have gotten it out for some reason. I must have been looking for my Simpsons comic I can't find. All right. All right. Yeah, got a bottle of water here. Huh. Yeah, I'm sick of open world games too, yeah. Hot take, Breath of the Wild is one of the worst Zelda games to me. It's still very good, but it's apocalyptically flawed and only fun for the first playthrough. Yeah, I've never played Breath of the Wild. The only Zelda games I've really played like extensively are Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, and even then I haven't beat either. Well, I beat Ganon in Ocarina of Time, but that's because I had a save file that I could just go and fight him. Because we bought it used. I never beat Majora's Mask, and I kept getting frustrated with it, so I never finished it. That said, atmospherically, Majora's Mask is great. It has my favorite atmosphere, because it's way darker than most Zelda games. But, I'm not, like, crazy about Zelda. Like, I do love the series, obviously. And I did put it in my top 10 RPGs video. And I stand by that. Like, Ocarina of Time specifically. Because that's the one I had the most fun with. Because I would just explore it. Even though I had a save file that was already completed effectively. It was fun. And I did start from the beginning before, too. And I got... I didn't get, like, super far, but I got to, the place with the Gorons, like, Goron... Is it Goron Valley, or Goron Cave, or Goron Mountain, or something? The place with the fucking rock people. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, for me, I've always been more of a Mario guy than a Zelda guy. I think with how much I've been getting into Pokemon, though, I feel like Pokemon would probably take up a spot on that list instead of Zelda in my top 10 RPGs. Facts. Think the only series that should get sequels are ones with long hiatus. We just need some new IPs right now. Only franchises that are good keep coming back are Nintendo and Call of Duty. Call of Duty, you'd still call that good? I don't know. I mean, I haven't played a Call of Duty game since I think Black Ops 2 was like the last one I really played. Like I played briefly like some of the other ones, but I feel like Call of Duty is super overplayed too. Like they haven't really done like one every year in a while, have they? Or have they? I don't know. I haven't been keeping up. Because like the latest one is like Modern Warfare, right? The new Modern Warfare. I liked Modern Warfare 2. My birthday is coming up and I'll be 21. Then shortly after that, Monster Hunter Rise DLC will come out. Monster Hunter is one of my absolute favorite game franchises. I'm so very excited this month. A new Call of Duty is like a new sports game at this point. Yeah, for real. People liked Modern Warfare, but the two in between flopped. What were the two? Like World War II and what's the new one? Or no, the new one is Modern Warfare, right? But there was another one. Like, I know there was Advanced Warfare that nobody really cared for. And there was, let's see. I feel like I'm missing one. The new one was Cold War. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Cold War is a thing, isn't it? Are they still doing them every year? Huh. Because, there was Call of Duty 1, Call of Duty 2, let's see, Vanguard. Oh, yeah, Vanguard, that's the one. Cold War. Vanguard and Cold War Modern Warfare 2 is coming out next. Another game also called Modern Warfare 2. Well, there you go. Everyone acted like No Russian was like this big deal in Modern Warfare 2. I think people overplayed it. What a bunch of pussies. Did you enjoy the view of my mattress? Modern Warfare 2 is supposed to last 2 years because I think they're gonna axe Sledgehammer, yeah? You really need to make those Pokemon cock streams public again since now your cock doesn't work. My cock streams are public. They're just age restricted because the game is filthy. They're all still public. They need to make one where you're just a security guard. Yeah, there you go. Call of Duty, Mall Cop. I don't know. Call of Duty Paul Blart Edition. Yeah, so I saw the trailer for the new Beavis and Butthead movie. I'm pretty sure I already mentioned this in a previous stream, but I thought it looked pretty good. Yeah, that's not shutting. You can't see it. There were some streams that were privated at some point. I don't think any of the cock ones were. I think the final Creepy Black stream is still privated. I need to re-edit that and re-upload it. But I don't think any of the cock ones got privated. I'm pretty sure they're all still up. I was going to check, but then I didn't realize. I don't know if that'll close out of the stream. Speaking of games, I missed the 3D era of Mortal Kombat. Really underrated. Yeah, no. Deception is my all-time favorite Mortal Kombat game. Deception is great. And Armageddon was really great, too. I think the last truly great Mortal Kombat game was Mortal Kombat 9. Your cock should be private? Yeah. Guys, I have a broken cock in my hands. Nah, dude, my hair is fucking nuts. That's why it's good to wear a hat. Yeah, my brothers went to see Jurassic World Dominion. I had no interest in seeing that, and I also had to work. Because Fallen Kingdom was so bad. And the premise of Dominion is retarded. Because it's like dinosaurs are taking over the world and becoming a major threat. But it's like, you really think the military couldn't just wipe out a bunch of fucking dinosaurs? Like, they easily could. Like, especially if they're all over the world. Multiple militaries are going to be gunning for those fuckers at that point. Like, what a stupid premise. To have dinosaurs, like, being like a major threat to humanity. Like, the Jurassic Park series only works when it's people trapped with the dinosaurs. Doesn't work when you bring in the military. But yeah, Fallen Kingdom was so bad. Dinosaurs don't have guns. That's true. Dinosaurs are strong, but they're not military strong. Exactly. Like, you can take out a dinosaur. You just get some tanks and some helicopters, and boom, you're done. Not yet. Oh, you saying they're gonna make stronger dinosaurs? That's another thing. Making dinosaurs for, like, military use is fucking retarded, too. It's like, The Indoraptor. You point a gun at someone, and it makes the Indoraptor chase after him. Unless you count Turok. Well, Turok's different. I'm saying in Jurassic Park. Hang on. I have some pizza I haven't been eating. I've just left it on my nightstand there for a minute, so I'm going to eat some more. And you guys can enjoy. Mukbang grosses me out, but hey, I don't mind subjecting you guys to watching me eat from time to time. Mukbang, yeah, there you go. I'm using fry sauce on my pizza. That's another thing in Utah, by the way, fry sauce. It's literally just ketchup and mayonnaise mixed together. Like, it's in other states, it's known as Heinz Mayo Chup. But here we just call it fry sauce, because that's what it's fucking called. Because it's our thing. That's what we dip our fries in. Jurassic Park was good, but I wish they'd touched some different extinct animals like saber-toothed mammoths and bear dogs. Yeah. Overseas, it's called America sauce, so there you go. I don't put sauces on pizza because it already has tomato sauce. I mean, true. But when Danny went back to Mexico one year, he found out they served fry sauce with their pizza. But again, they didn't have a name for it. They just told him it was ketchup and mayo. And he dipped it in. I realized fry sauce takes a mediocre pizza and makes it delicious. Like if you go to a buffet and you get some of that, like the shitty buffet pizza, and then you dip it in fry sauce, it's good. I'm also just not a condiment enjoyer. I am. I love condiments. I'm a big sauce guy. I'm quite saucy, if you get my drift. Got to put garlic sauce on pizza. I have before. Papa John's has some pretty good garlic sauce. I never wear one. Yeah, there you go. That reminds me of that joke in The Simpsons where Abe finds this old condom on the ground, and he's like, what's this? Latex condom. And he's like, sure wouldn't mind living in one of those. Because he thinks it means condo, like a condominium. By the way, this is a Hawaiian pizza. It's got pineapple on it. Which, hot take, I think is fine. Exactly what I was thinking. Papa John's is really good. Oh yeah, I love Papa John's. This is Big Daddy's, which is a pizza place that I quite enjoy. I'm more into their barbecue chicken pizza, but I ordered pizza for everyone last night, and some people wanted Hawaiian. And I like Hawaiian, so I was like, okay, sure. Like, I think hating on pineapple pizza is good for the meme, but to actually, like, vehemently hate on it, I think is stupid. I'm probably going to wrap up the stream here in a second. I keep getting texts from people wanting to talk to me, so I'm probably going to go ahead and end this one. But I've had a fun little chat. I hope you guys have had too. You remember when people in the 90s used to wear hats like this? I remember that. I like Domino's because I think they have the best crust and sauce. Also, the cheesy bread they have with spinach in it is good. Yeah, Domino's is pretty good. Never had pineapple pizza due to many horror stories. People are bitches. It's good. It's savory and sweet. Anyway, I think I'm going to head off. I had fun chatting with you guys. I will see you next time. Have a good one. Toodles.